Hi children, welcome to MCGM Virtual Training Center. I am your English teacher, Mrs. Nehal Godambe. In last session, we have started learning the history of the tea or the story of the tea. We will just have the recap what we have learned in part 1. We have seen that Emperor Shennong has discovered the qualities of the tea, and then he introduced the tea to the China, and afterwards it was spread to all over the world. In today's session we will see the next part of this tea story. We will begin with the features of this tea plant. So as we have seen, the botanical name is the Camellia sinensis, and you can see here Camellia sinensis is an evergreen plant. Look at the color. It's an evergreen plant. It grows in tropical and subtropical climates. You must have learned in geography what are the tropical and subtropical climates. So the growing of this plant needs this type of climates. And what about the rainfall? It needs 100 to 125 centimeter of rainfall or the water, you can say. And you can see here many of the world's best tea estates are located on hill slopes at elevations of up to 1500 meters. You can see here the elevation of the hills. So always tree plants, they grow at the located on hill slopes. Then when the plants mature, only the top 1 to 2 inches of the plants are picked, not the whole plant, but only the top. Only the top of 1 to 2 inches of the plants are picked up. That is, the leaves of the tea plants are plucked or picked. Now, as per the tea types, teas we buy are usually classified according to their leaf size. As we have seen just now, that only the 1 to 2 inches of the plants are picked, and the buds and leaves are called flushes. When the new flush appears on the plant every 7 to 10 days during the peak growing season, then they left to grow on its own. The tea plant may actually grow into a small tree, but in all tea gardens, the plants are pruned and kept at a height of about 3 feet to enable easy plucking of the leaves. Then the which tea we buy are usually classified according to their leaf size. In India, we have 3 types of tea. We will see them one by one. First is Assam type of tea, that is characterized by the largest leaf. You can see in the picture that they have largest leaves. Second type, China type. It has smallest one, you can see here in picture. And the third one, Cambo types, they have intermediate leaves. So we have classified tea in 3 types: largest, smallest and the intermediate. We have very distinct and different tea growing regions in India, and each of these region is famous for the special type of tea it produces, which are in unique in taste, aroma, strength and flavor and so on. So we will see those regions. The first one, very famous, Darjeeling in northeastern India. We have Darjeeling tea, Assam tea, right? When we go to the tea shop, we are have the different types of tea over there named by or labeled by it. So first one is Darjeeling in north eastern India, then Assam in far northeast India, Assam tea, and the third one is, you can see here, Nilgiri is in South India, that is the southern part of India. So these are three basic or very famous areas or regions for the tree of plants or the tea growing plants. So in India, most people agree, or all over the world, that most people agree that tea is a refreshing drink. It contains no carbohydrates, no fats, no proteins, nothing. And then why do we drink the tea? Because it gives us special and distinctive flavor. It has theanine as well as caffeine, which keeps us fresh. Then how and when did people first begin to drink tea in India, or how did this magical beverage came in India? We will see that. See, before British came here, the tea was not drunk for pleasure. Okay, but when the British came here in India, they began to establish plantation in the 19th century. You can see here, but still the British East India Company made several unsuccessful attempts to grow tea in Bhutan and Assam with the seeds from where they brought it from China. Although these attempts were all failed, then here you can see the picture of botanist Robert Bruce. In 1823, he discovered tea plants growing wild in the upper Brahmaputra valley. And in May 1838, the first Indian tea from Assam was sent to England for public sale. That's what he has done between these years, that he has kept on researching that, and the first Indian tea was ready to send to England for public sales. And since then, India has gone on to become one of the leading producers of tea in the world, and you know the present rank of India in production of the tea. You can see here, in May 1838, the first Indian tea from Assam was sent to England for public sale. Here you can see from the beginning how these British people has done the efforts to grow, to plant tea in India. See, as we have learned in last session that tea has many health benefits. But for many people, tea is a popular drink to have with friends. In many countries around the world, tea drinking is an important social occasion. When people sit together and they drink the tea, they get the pleasure out of these ceremonies. Now we will learn how in worlds, different countries, tea or drinking of tea is as a special ceremony and tradition. So as we learn that in many countries have special tea ceremonies and traditions. Begin with Japan. So most people in Japan belongs to a tea club where they go every week to take part in tea ceremony. See, we have different clubs, sports clubs and all, but in Japan they have tea clubs, and the people are member of those tea clubs, and where they go every week to take part in tea ceremony. And even in Japan, ordinary people also feel that tea ceremonies are spiritual occasions that are closely associated with their religion. So tea, as they say, is a healthy, enjoyable and stimulating drink full of good qualities, and it reduces the loneliness and calms your heart. It is a comfort in everyday's life. Now next country is Korea. You can see here in Korea also today still have tea ceremonies for important occasions. When there are important occasions, they held up for the tea ceremonies. like birthdays or anniversaries and so on. As we have learnt about the China in last session, in most area of China, the tea is made in small clay teapots. You can see there a small clay teapot is directly kept on the gas stove and the tea is made in those clay teapots. And while serving the tea, at the tea ceremonies, cups are only half filled. You can see there that the Chinese believe that the rest of the cup must be filled with friendship and affection. So tea drinking is not just the sake of drinking the tea, but they use this ceremony as to boost up the friendship and the affection. Now we will move to the next country, that is in Russia. Tea is made and served in samovars. You can see there a picture of samovar, a special Russian tea kettle made up of metal. In China we have seen the kettles are made up of clay, and in Russia the kettles are made up of metal and so designed, colorful. See, so beautiful that kettle is. So the teas are made in such samovars. Country is Vietnam, and you can see here Vietnam produces special varieties of tea such as lotus tea. The tea is made up from the lotus flowers. You can see here the method of preparing the lotus tea, and then it is served. At the same time, tea from jasmine flowers too. As we have learned earlier that many people in Japan, they are the members of the tea club. So drinking tea is really a tradition or the ceremony for the Japanese people. And in Japan, they have different types of tea, that the tea is made up using powdered green tea. You can see here in bowl powdered green tea, and it is called matcha. And the special thing about it is that the tea is mixed with boiled water using a bamboo whisk. You can see a whisk over there, and then served in a small bowls. So see how different ways people drink tea all over the world. Now we have learned about the Japan, the Korea, the Russia, the China. But what about India? In our country, a cup of tea is offered to any guest or visitor as a token of hospitality, even in the humblest of homes. You can see here in India, even if whatever is your financial condition is, whoever the guest come to our houses, at least the minimum thing we offer to them is the cup of tea. So most Indian like to offer the tea to the guest or the visitor, whoever comes to their homes. So the most Indians like their tea hot with a good deal of milk and sugar in it. See, in many countries of the world, milk and sugar are not used in while making the tea, but in India, of course, first thing we need is the milk, and the second thing is the sugar. We can't drink tea without these two things. And in the rainy season, now it's a rainy season, in the rainy season it is brewed with ginger to give the additional medicinal properties. Because as we know that Ayurveda has proved that when we use ginger or when we consume the ginger, then there is no cough and cold. So in mostly or preferably in the rainy season, people put ginger in their teas. And others odd spices like cardamom. You can see here elaichi, cloves or mace to add to its taste and flavor. And it is never drunk alone. Here we have tea snacks. Tea is must after a plate of spicy snacks, especially in the morning and the evening. So we have special tea time snacks here in India. So as we have seen, some experts Enjoy delicately flavored jasmine tea, green tea, lemon tea, iced tea. What about you? How you drink the tea? So, in today's session, we have learned about the tea's properties. At the same time, we have learned that how in different countries tea is drunk. So, the story of the tea is over now. So, have a cup of tea and be fresh. See you next session. Till then, bye bye. So, that's all for today. Thank you.